Hello, I'm Jeffrey Mishlove. Here I am once again without an agenda, but a few little things I should point out. One is that I am traveling. By the time you watch this, I'll be on the road. I've got trips scheduled to Dallas and to Chicago. I'm going to take my computer with me, my big computer, but obviously I'm not taking the whole studio. So it's possible that while I'm traveling, I'll just make some videos using the camera on my computer. And upload them. I like working here in the studio because I know I've got good sound quality and good lighting, and I'm just accustomed to the studio. I like the black background, for example, but it's not necessary to always use the studio. After all, just a couple of days ago when I recorded some karaoke, I made the whole recording on my iPhone. So also with regard to interviews, I can tell you, for those of you who are staying tuned, I have just uploaded the last interview that I have in my backlog of interviews, and I don't have any scheduled for a while, so it may be a while before new interviews get posted. We'll see. Things can happen on short notice. Now, I guess this is a good time to reflect on this process, these daily monologues, in a sense. Like what is it about? What do I get out of it, and what do you get out of it from these daily monologues? Now, speaking for myself, I can say this: I love doing these, and I do have a sense that I'm getting better at it. I used to hem and haw quite a bit more than I do now. I think I have more of a natural sensibility for myself, and I do get the sense that the more I do it, the little creative things are happening, and for me, it's, I guess, fair enough to say it's part of my own growth process, and I'm enjoying it. So I'll keep doing it as long as it continues to be enjoyable for me. Why not? And I see, there within 2-3 days, there's typically over 1,000 people watching each of these monologues. So I have to assume that those of you who watch, and I know some are regular watchers, some are sporadic viewers, you're probably engaging in a growth process yourself. And that's sort of what I have in mind. And that is, a little 10-minute tickler every day, I think, can help stimulate something going on in the depths of the psyche, some kind of openings. And I know it'll be different for everybody. But that's really what I'm endeavoring to do here, is a little 10-minute psychological, spiritual, parapsychological stimulus each day. A little 10-minute stimulus, I think, helps start the day, helps finish the day. It's a good reminder. It's for some of you, I think, a source of inspiration. For other people, it's a way to satisfy your curiosity about my discipline of parapsychology, a discipline that most people are very curious about. And naturally, you don't need this. There are lots of books available if you wanted to upgrade your knowledge of parapsychology. But it's nice, I should think, if I were a viewer, I would say it's nice to be able to have a sense of the presence of a person who has devoted their life to this discipline. It's not just reading a book where you get information. It's more a sense of presence. That's why I call this series of monologues In Presence, because I'm here present with you for better or worse. Now, I just read, John Paul posted a very provocative comment, and I just read it, and it's on my mind, so I will see if I can address it at all. He said, it's morphing into a vanity project. The next thing you know, you're going to make one of your video monologues while you're sitting on the toilet, and all of your peanut gallery supporters are going to be applauding and laughing. What an image. And I suppose if I'm thinking about being experimental, could I possibly try something like that? I used to watch some situation comedy shows on television where they would show characters sitting on the toilet while one of them is talking to another. So it's not exactly a new frontier any longer, even on mainstream network television. But yeah, I think I am reaching in my own mind for a new frontier. Like, how far can I push this? Could I just snap my finger and people would be psychic? Just like that. It's almost as if I would. For example, back in the 1970s, when Uri Geller was all the rage, and I had him on my radio show several times back at KPFA-FM in Berkeley. But the point is that when Geller got on the radio or TV, thousands of people experienced unusual paranormal events taking place in their own homes as they were watching him. Now, who knows what triggered that? They were called mini Gellers, and young people would discover they could bend spoons, and then there were spoon bending parties all around the country, and so it was like a happening. And I don't think that's quite what I'm going for here. I think I'm trying to do something that might be a little more far-reaching, a little deeper, or maybe even a little more permanent than a happening. In a way, my 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day with you is, not long ago I talked about how the UFOs may be influencing humanity at a subtle level that we don't even know. People say there's nothing there. There's nothing there at all, but there they are in the background, on the margins of our culture, and probably having, over time, an extraordinary influence that none of us can actually see because we're too close to it, and it's happening perhaps too slowly. And that influence ultimately is about opening up the depths of the mind in different ways. For some people, it will be a question of acquiring certain skills, siddhis, powers, psi experiences. For other people, it may be just getting more in touch with themselves. For other people, it may be just appreciating more what people around them are going through. I don't know. I don't know exactly. And yes, there's an element of vanity here. I don't know that anybody who didn't have a certain level of ego, a certain level of vanity would be doing this at all. But now for those of you who are viewing, who are listening, how can I make it even better for you? And I don't have all the answers by any means, but what I do find is I get interesting comments to respond to. And I don't know if I've really addressed the point that John Paul was trying to make. I think what he was saying is that maybe I'm going a little too far. I'm pushing things maybe to such an extreme that something is getting lost, or that my ego is taking over in ways that I don't even see. That's a good one. That's a good one to reflect on. I'm going to look at that. And I guess what I could do at the same time is to suggest to each of you that may be an issue of looking for you to look at. Are there times when your ego kind of sneaks out and gets control of you in ways that you don't notice? And that you may think that you're behaving in a way that is very giving and very selfless, and actually what it is like a total ego trip. I think that may be what John Paul was suggesting. And if it's the case that was the suggestion, thank you for that. It's worth taking a good look at. And maybe while I'm traveling, I'll have opportunities to do that. So I'm not going to leave you with anything. I'll leave you with this. Make of this what you will. And as I mentioned, things are going to be sporadic now for a while. And I hope that when I'm back here, you'll be here too. Thank you for being with me.